think that it's an interesting time, John, because of how training, like I said yesterday, we'd be getting ready for our third preseason game. These guys were able to work out during the offseason, no doubt about it, but not really with us. So they're all on these different ramp-up periods. Everybody's on track to be ready to go when the season starts. But there's just different ramp-ups. So it's hard for me to explain that. It is what it is relative to how we when we tested these guys and where they were at and what they needed from a load standpoint. That's what we're doing, and I think all those guys have done a great job. They're really good pros. They really understand what we're asking them to do, and it's been good. I think you're muted.
Go.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey. When you look at Zach Cunningham and the other top inside linebackers around the NFL, what kind of makes this guy someone that is right in that category? And as you guys look at him and evaluate him as someone that you would possibly want to secure with a long-term deal, what are your thoughts on that generally, just in terms of Zach and his future? Thank you.
Yeah, no, we want Zach on our team. We want Zach to be a Texan for a long time, no doubt about it. He is. He's just a really good player. He's very instinctive. He's got good speed. You can do a lot of different things he can do a lot of different things within our scheme. Plays on special teams. He's on the punt team. Really good guy. Same guy every day. We think that it'd be great if he was with us for a long time.
Mark Berman.
Billy, getting back to the receivers for a second, now that you've had them with you for a few days, for a while now, like Randall and Brandon, those guys, what are some things that you've found out maybe that you didn't know that enhanced what you think of them and how much they can help?
Just the way they work. They put the time in every day. They work. They come to work every day. They're great guys in the locker room. They communicate well. They want to do what Deshaun needs them to do within the route. They're smart. They understand what we're trying to do. They're good teammates. They're DTS. They're dependable, tough, smart, and that's what's great about them.
Aaron Reese.
Bill, how do you think the lack of preseason games will affect waiver pickups and maybe the amount of trades that happen during cutdown period, just with teams not being able to see guys in other camps?
Man, that's a great question. I think obviously it will affect. You just don't have the game tape. There's a lot of unknown. You don't know where exactly a guy is. Relative to somebody that maybe is on the waiver wire or some other way to acquire a player. There are a lot of unknowns. I'm sure it'll affect it. We try to do the best job we can of watching previous tape of the player and understanding who the player is when the waiver wire comes out every day. But I believe for us, I just speak for myself, it's going to be a little bit different.
Christy.
Bill, it seems like your tight ends have been doing some good stuff in practice so far. What do you think about the talent you have there and what they can do for your team? Yeah, good players, all a little bit different in their skill set. Felzy, he does a really good job in all phases. He can block. He's good in the passing game. Really smart player. Jordan Akins had a really good day yesterday. And, with Jordan, it's just all about consistency, just being consistent. He's a great guy, really good, really talented guy. Jordan Thomas has had a good training camp. He's come back in shape and doing some good things. And then Kyle Waring's, look, he works hard. He's a good guy. He's still, last year he didn't play. So, this is, a year where he really needs to take a step within the offense. I think he's doing better. He had a better day yesterday. So it's a good position. Dylan Stapleton, the guy that the undrafted guy out of James Madison, he's been really, really good, tough guy, learning the game, tries to do what we ask him to do. So I really think the position is a good one.
Sarah.
Bill, what is it about the way that Deshaun learns that if he makes a mistake in practice, he doesn't generally make it again?
Yeah, he's smart. I mean, he's got a really he's got a good memory. He understands what he sees. He's able to really communicate what he saw in the play, why he did that, why he made that decision. He doesn't make many mistakes, but he's smart, and he's got an ability to really understand what he just saw and then be able to say, okay, this is what I saw. This is why I did it. And, you see that at night on the Zoom calls too. Hey, he'll tell the offense, hey, this is what I saw. This is why I did this, made this decision, and it's been good.
Does that help you at all when you're on the sideline during games between series trying to make a decision about the rest of the game, knowing that if he's seen it once, he's probably not going to do it again in that game?
Yeah, no, I mean, just the conversations on the sideline with him are always good because he's very calm and he gives you exactly what he saw. He can recite each play like, hey, this is what I saw in the 2nd and 10 play. This is what I saw in the 3rd and 2 play. I don't really like this play today. We got to take this one out. Whatever it is, he's good at understanding what he just saw and being able to communicate it back to you between series.
Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Bill, Darren Fells, the latest player to describe to us his faith in the extra measures that the organization has taken from a safety standpoint, and that really allowed him to have a great conversation with his wife to allow him to go ahead and play. How does that make you feel, both as a coach and as a husband and a dad, hearing that kind of feedback and the steps the organization has taken?
Yeah, I think it makes us all feel good. I mean, I think that we spent a lot of time. I mean, Jack and I came back here on July 4th, and we got the protocols the night of July 3rd, and then there were other people in the organization, everybody from our PR department to our training room to our strength staff to operations to our cafeteria to Susie Thomas, our counsel. And then obviously the support of the McNairs. I mean, we made a lot of changes in a week. I don't know if you guys have been inside at all, probably not, but when you see it again, I think you'll say, whoa, that's different because, within a week or two, we changed locker rooms, we changed hallways. The other person, two people that have done an unbelievable job are Jeff Kaplan and Ray Claridge, have really done a great job of doing what you're talking about. And so when the players came back, I think that they were impressed and they I think that's a big deal. That creates team belief, and team belief is a big deal. So that's good that Darren said that.
Cody.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey,
Given
Cody.
the skill set of Brandon Cooks and Kenny Stills, is there a possibility we will see Will Fuller run more intermediate routes this season, perhaps more so than we have in the past?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, I think Will runs the whole route tree. I mean, I know he's known for the deep shots, because, he's really, really good at those, and he's had connections with Deshaun over the years. But, he's a really good route runner. He can run the short stuff. We use him everywhere. We use him in the slot. We use him on the outside. He can run 20-yard in cuts, and he can run, the 12-yard slant route. So, we use him in a lot of different ways, and we'll continue to do that.
Take 2 or 3 more. Aaron Wilson.
Yeah. Do you expect Kiki Kutsi out there today? And what's going on with Kiki?
I think he'll be out there today. I just gave him a day off, looking at a few things with him on the again, like it's taken time for me to get used to this, but we've put a lot of time into this GPS and these player loads and high speed and how many times did the guy reach 19 miles an hour? I mean, we had a guy yesterday, AJ Moore, reached 21 miles an hour on a kickoff coverage. And so we take those things into account. With Kiki, it's a lot of short space stuff. And, we felt like, hey, let's give him a little time here, and then we'll bring him back today. He should be out there today.
Aaron Reese.
Well, it's obviously generally hard for rookie wide receivers to make a big impact, but what kind of specifically are the challenges Isaiah Coulter faces heading into this year, just making the transition from FCS and doing it during this offseason?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think the big thing with Isaiah is very talented. He's got good size. He can run. He can catch. He's got all the tools that you need, but it's just totally different. I mean, you go from playing at Rhode Island to the National Football League. It's just different. The coverages are different. Obviously, the talent level is different, and he's getting better though. He improves every day. He works at it, and so we'll see. But I think it's the wide receiver position in this league. If you go back through history, rookies at the wide receiver position, it's tough. It's a tough transition, more press coverage, much better corners, different, much different coverages. So it's hard, but he's working hard every day to try to get better.
Brandon?
Coach, you've talked to us before about the soft tissue injuries and trying to shield against those. That seems to be pretty consistent around the league. Could you dig deeper a little bit into that and how you guys went about and what that was like for you guys in monitoring soft tissue injuries and why specifically that's important?
So when they came back, we tested all of them in different types of tests that had different types of criteria, whether it was, just conditioning level or hamstring strength or, whatever the test may entail, and quad strength or quad flexibility or, all of those things. And then we made then we got that information. Mike Eubanks, Roland, Ladd Harris, we have a really good team that puts all this information together. We hired a guy from the University of Texas named Matt Van Dyke. He's really good too. New guy. A lot of brain power in the room. I mean, I just listen. I mean, I'm quite obviously the dumbest guy in that room. So I just listen, and they give us information, and then we can now plan how we're going to practice these guys. What's the plan for these guys? Because ultimately, the health of the team is the most important thing. If you have a healthy team, any team, if you have a healthy team, you've got a real shot. So, a lot went into it, and then we implement the plan for each player. So each player has a different type of ramp up schedule, and based on where they were from that testing. And I think there's been some things that have been adjusted over time, but I do think we're on track.
Last one for John McClain.
Bill, yesterday Wade Phillips talked about Cooks, who he watched every day in practice the last 2 years. And besides calling him a fabulous person, he said he's probably the smartest receiver he's ever been around. And that's why he can come into a new system and have 1,000 yards. He also said besides the speed, he is a good route runner. Do you think guys like Fuller and Cooks, who have great speed, their route running often gets overlooked?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have the combination of good speed, and Wade's on the money there with his evaluation. I mean, when you have the combination of really good speed and you can route and you can run the routes, kind of like I was saying to Cody earlier, that's a really good combination. Sometimes, you have guys that are just, straight line fast, and they can run go routes and they can run maybe post route or whatever. But if you have guys that have speed, and then they can do a lot of different things, you can line them up in different places, you can match them up in different ways, that's a good thing. And then the whole key to all of it is the health, making sure that they stay healthy and they're ready to go, and you get good practice time with Deshaun. And right now, I believe we're on track there. But yeah, Brandon's a very bright guy. Randall Cobb's a very smart guy. Will's a smart guy. Kenny Stills, those guys, they're really bright guys that can run routes, and they can all run.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, guys.